Hey everybody, it's me again, Johnny. So today I'm going to show you this other guitar out of my collection that I got about a year ago, I can't remember. This is a Fender made in Japan, traditional late 60s Jaguar. The differences between this and the other ones are it has the blocks and binding down there, and it comes in some different colours. This comes in a lovely ice blue metallic with a matching headstock. Got all the chrome, all the bling, looks like a Cadillac, the way it should be with the Jaguar in my opinion. They do come from the factory nowadays with proper CTS pots and switchcraft stuff in there, whereas the old Fender Japan stuff used to come with absolute junk electronics that everyone used to rip out and replace with this stuff, so that saves you a job. I have changed a few bits on it for personal taste. I have put a Mastery Bridge on, should be everyone's first choice with these. They were the original and the best aftermarket company, and I still think they are. I've put a Mastery Vibrato on as well, mainly because the Japanese units, they still make them with the string spacing ever so slightly too narrow here, which means the strings flare out and then flare in again towards the nut, which can cause some string binding issues and tuning when you're using the vibrato bar. Not a tremolo, it's a vibrato, get it right. So I swapped that for a Mastery one. I put some witch hat knobs on because I like the look of those against the colour scheme, and I just like them in general. And I replaced the pickups. There's nothing wrong with the stock pickups, even though they were still the Japanese made ones. They were better than the old school ones. I just prefer them a little bit heavier, a little bit fatter sounding. So I think these were wound for about 9k with Alnico 5 by a guy called Toltec down somewhere the south of the UK, further south than me. He's very fast, he's very cheap, I would highly recommend him, and he's pretty open to custom orders. So yeah, specs wise, you could probably look up on the internet, but it's pretty much standard issue, apart from we've got a 9.5 inch radius, which is pretty standard for Fender these days. Vintage style frets, not vintage tool. But the main difference is it has a very narrow nut. This is about 40 to 41 millimeters, so about 1.5 to 1.6 Freedom hamburger units. And it also has a U-shaped neck. Now, it's not a massively deep U like you might get on a Les Paul or anything, but it is a very definite U shape, not a C or a fat C, and definitely not a D like a lot of them used to come. I've had some early 2000s and late 90s ones that had a really flat D neck, and if you're a chord kind of person, it's just not comfortable, or if you have sore hands like I do a little bit, a slightly chunkier grip is a little bit more satisfying. So that's one of the main reasons actually I went for this one, despite it also ticking every other box that I wanted. So yeah, a few bits changed, but overall essentially it's the same. I would normally change tuners on a guitar like this, but they're these nice like squared off late 60s ones, so they are a bit more correct like for the era. They do fine. I think they're ping made rather than Clusons or anything like that. I generally go for butter beans on a lot of my, like the ones with the white tips, but these work, it's fine, it's keeping tune. If I use this a lot, it doesn't seem to have any issues, so there we go. Right, so everything else is stock. I'm going to start with the bridge pickup through my Vibrochamp, 64 Vibrochamp, 64, 65, I can't remember, and a Strymon Flint with a little bit of spring reverb on there just to smooth things out and not be so dry in this little room of mine. So I'm just going to improvise, make a load of noise with various settings, and you can listen to it. Here we go. Switch over to the neck pickup real quickly. bass cut switch on these. I'm going to click it up just with both pickups. It's not a sound you'd use much, but it's quite good for thinning things out if you're recording and you've got a lot of fuzz or gain or something, and the low end's getting a bit too much. But quickly flick over to the rhythm circuit just for a minute. I don't really use this much, but it's not too bad for like jazz or really warm stuff. You could go. It's not something I ever use really. I used to just take these out, but for some reason can't be bothered with this. What else have we got? Okay, let's try it with a little bit of gain. I'm going to switch on a Timmy set to a light overdrive. This is an early Timmy. I think it's a V2. Do it with the bridge pickup, leave the reverb on. It's just a light crunch kind of sound. Turn the reverb down a little bit. I'm going to quickly boost it with it's just a Boss BD2 blues driver set to like a little bit of drive and a bit of a volume boost to get this into more of a lead sort of territory, a bit more heavy. Flick over to the neck pickup, just with the Timmy again. Again, I tend to just stick on the bridge unless I'm clean. Let's stick on a little bit of a delay. I've got Deluxe Memory Man big box from the 90s and an early 80s Boss CE2 that I've just turned on. And I'll flick both pickups on and just play something. tremolo for that bit. The only other thing to do, I guess, is I can let's stick the chorus into a Whiteface Rat from 1984 with the distortion goosed all the way. I'm not playing anything that you might know, I'm just making up crap as always. Okay, let's try this. That one. Okay, so that pretty much explains it all. Turn the volume down. So yeah, I think I paid about 1,200 quid for this, which is probably about 1,500 bucks. I don't know what the exchange rate at the moment is. I think it's worth it. Oh, another thing to point out, it's got a basswood body, or basswood body, basswood. It's really light. This one came and I was surprised at how light it was. I think I might have just got lucky. This is £7 on the nose, which is like featherweight for a Jaguar. If you've ever held one before, they're normally £8.5, £9. For this to be this light, it's lighter than my Jazzmaster. It's almost as light as my Double Cut Junior. It's a real breeze to have on your shoulders. It feels like it's just floating there. So yeah, if you can handle the narrow nut and you're a fan of that, and you like big blingy all over stuff going on, this is the one. I would recommend them. Yeah, pretty much it really. You've heard a bit of nonsense. Thank you very much.